Welcome to another episode of The Inside View. My name is Jason Underberg, and of course I'm here with no other than Mr. Brian Kovner.
What's up, everybody?
And today we've got a very special guest coming to us from the real estate market. She is an expert, I'd like to say, in the real estate industry.
Yeah.
April Blunt is with us today. April, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, guys.
So, April, tell us a little bit about yourself, or tell our audience a little bit about yourself so that we can start off with a little background check.
Sure. Well, I've been selling real estate for about 13 years. I started in 2010.
13 years.
Wow.
Prior to that, I was doing mortgages. I started doing mortgages in 2003 while I was in college. So, I kind of have combined knowledge from both sides of the world, and, that's what makes me unique. When my clients use me, I kind of can give them advice on, both sides to help them make the best decisions.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you've really seen it all. You've been through some bubbles, the
I saw it when
2009
rates were
crash.
high. I've seen it when rates were like 7 and 8, and I mean, whatever, they're coming back up there now. And I've seen it where they were like giving loans away to people like
Sure.
with bad credit. And that was when everything kind of tanked.
Wild
and like,
West.
yeah, 06, 07, before the market kind of recycled itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually jumping right into that point right there,
Mhm.
there's a lot of people out there, even myself, that
Mhm.
had the idea and the concept that it's possible that we see a repeat of 2009. My argument has always been that 2009 was very different because they were giving money to anyone,
Yeah.
right?
It was easier to get
Where do you see the market kind of taking the turn now that things have just been absolutely bizarre in the real estate market?
So, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to crash, it's going to crash. I don't think it's going to crash. I think there's going to be a correction.
Mhm.
And I think that's why they are making rates go up a little bit, because I feel like during COVID, there's just been a lot of cash in the market. So
There
people are
has,
like,
yeah.
spend, And that's why you have everything going over asking price. And then you have the chain supply, there's no houses, there's no materials, there's nothing. So, that's why prices are so high and people are just like, whatever, let's spend. We have cash.
Sure.
But now because rates are going up, it's going to kind of encourage the consumer to just like not spend as much.
That's right.
Just
Or
to
get that
try
second
to-
home.
Yeah. And just to try to like stabilize things out before it like goes bonkers,
Yeah. Yeah.
But supply is still going to remain
An issue.
Yeah.
A huge issue. And
That's an issue everywhere, and that's why I think prices are still going to be high, but they're not going to like be through the roof.
sure.
Yeah.
Do you think that sellers will now be less motivated to sell their home and inventory will continue to be not only a problem like it was, but even more so?
I mean, yeah, I think inventory is still going to be a problem. People are only going to really sell if they must.
If they
because
must,
if
right.
they sell, then they're going to have to buy, and now money's not really cheap anymore.
That's right.
So
That's right.
They're going to
That'll slow
second
them
question
down.
themselves. Yeah,
Mhm.
totally.
Yep.
Interesting.
Oh, we got Bishop on the show too today.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Say
welcome,
hi,
Bishop. Thanks for
Bishop.
joining us.
Yeah.
Bishop is an expert in the real estate market as well. He's been through several homes.
Well, yeah, he's 5, and he's actually had 5 physical addresses, so he's a little bit of a gypsy himself.
You feel free to push him off.
Yeah,
You-
Bishop, get over here,
He's
buddy.
he's the podcast dog.
So have you seen? I mean, even going back to 2008, 2009, 2010, was the market as it is today similar then, as far as just the uncertainty? Because I think nowadays, if you watch the news, one day things are okay, one day things are not okay. The market's hot, it's not. Recession, no recession. Like, have you seen anything like this where there's just such a
I mean, I think
confusion of information?
Yeah, I think it's still very hot. But we're probably going to see a recession probably like within, I think, the next year.
With the economy, at the global economy,
Yeah,
you're thinking.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, you've been a realtor for a really long time. Push him off you. Push him down. You've been a realtor
I wanna
for
be mean.
a really long time.
Yeah.
Obviously 13 years.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about what makes there's so many realtors, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows a realtor. Someone's cousins,
Yeah,
aunts,
everybody's a
sisters,
realtor.
fathers, a
Yeah.
realtor.
Yeah.
How do you separate yourself? How do you stay relevant in such a competitive market?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Well, I try to stay on top of like the current trends and, like watch the different markets and stuff, like what's going on with the rates. Um, Also, it's just, a lot of reading and also, once you're in the field, you start to experience like what's happening. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying? So then you come up with different solutions on how to still, be creative to get your clients deals. Like
Yep.
this past, year, 2 years during COVID, it's been very competitive for buyers. So you kind of have to be a little bit more strategic and creative on how you put your offers together. It's not just like, oh, hey, this is the asking price and we'll close in 30 days. It's kind of like, all right, we're going to give over ask. We're going to guarantee this. We're going to remove this contingency. Just different strategies,
Yeah.
So that's how, just try to stay up to date with different
So
things.
right now,
Yeah.
obviously, the seller is in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm. Totally. It's a seller's market.
Have you seen the
Absolutely.
inverse, where the buyer is in the driver's seat and the seller has to make all
In your
Well,
entire
not right
career?
now.
Right.
Well,
No,
yeah,
not
not
now, but
right
you have
now.
seen
But
it
yeah, before
previously.
it was a buyer's market. There's lots of inventory. You make one offer and then you kind of, win the offer. Right now, there's like, I don't know, 9 to 40 offers on a property,
Yep.
depending what market
amazing.
it
Yep.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. And most
So
of
the
these
seller has
sellers are looking for
totally
bidding
control.
wars. And
Yeah,
Right.
they want it. I
They
get
get 'em.
sellers who I'm like, oh, well, I have a buyer already because there's like a surplus of buyers. And they're like, nah, put it on the market. Let everybody fight for it, So
wild.
they know. They know
wild.
what the deal is. Yeah.
yeah, and I'd imagine, nowadays to stay more competitive, you need to have great marketing.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I mean, how do you go about these these mega listings? How does that? Is it all who if somebody's looking to sell their house? How does that connect?
Yeah, how are
work?
you getting pinged on that? Other than, of course, marketing
Yeah,
and everything
it's
else.
like
Right, of course.
so marketing. People see how you market, they like it. I get compliments on my marketing all the time.
Sure.
But my business, it's like very like referral kind of, just because I've been doing it for a long time. I don't really like buy leads. You have agents who buy leads, who door knock and stuff like that. And like, listen, if I had to do it, I would do it.
Sure.
But just because I've been in the business for such a long time on the mortgage side and on the real estate side, I kind of like just have like a bunch of contacts. So,
Just interesting.
I
You
get
think about
calls.
Maybe somebody
Yeah.
who's lived in their house for 40 years, never
Yeah.
came out of their cocoon.
Yeah.
Now they want to sell, but they don't know who to ask, who to call. They're not going to pick
Yeah.
up the yellow pages. And
Yeah,
find
no.
How would they find somebody like you? That's always the.
I think, you have social media now,
Mhm.
and then, somebody who knows me, if they call, like, hey, do you have a good agent? They might just be like, oh, we'll call April,
Mhm.
word of mouth, social media. And then depending on which market it is, if they call the office, you
Yep.
kind of just pick it up.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
So, but I've been grateful to, have clients referred to me.
Yeah.
So,
And you have some amazing listings, and you've had some amazing listings,
Yeah,
and I think they're all
absolutely.
sold now.
yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they are. They are like flying off the shelf.
They're flying off the shelves if
yeah.
you're listing your house.
She'll get it sold for you. Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. I mean, it's the biggest purchase that people make in their entire lives.
Yeah, it's
know, and
it's a
It
large
is.
asset. Yeah.
So what do you think is in store for, other than, a little bit of a correction in the market, what do you think is in store for the future of the industry? You see things changing?
Are people going to afford to be able to buy a house? Like now, it's like I know when you graduate college, the American dream is the white picket fence, the house.
Yeah.
But if you're coming out with college with so much debt already, I mean, how
Mhm.
is if the houses keep going up and it keeps getting more expensive to borrow money? How are people going to be able to afford
Well, I
their?
think they'll still be able to afford it because now they're trying to make corrections in the market. You know what I'm saying? But then also, I just feel like I just feel like the economy, it's still doing very well. So people can still afford things. You know what I'm saying? There's like a lot of new businesses and like even like the young children. I feel like a lot of these kids are having like businesses at like 22 years old.
Sure.
now,
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm like, I didn't have
Well,
a
you see
business when I
more
was 22.
millennial millionaires than you've
Yeah,
ever seen, and these are the
totally.
guys who are buying the $3-4 million
Yeah.
houses.
Yeah,
and-
they're very smart nowadays. So,
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine. Prices should stabilize. and it'll mellow out.
Do you
Yeah.
think that with technology and with everything that's changing and everything being so virtual and this and that, do you think that the industry as a whole will one day change? I mean, you see all these new
Virtual listings.
you see
I don't know.
EXP real
I get
estate,
scared
right?
sometimes. Yeah.
These guys are going into the meta universe and they're
Yeah.
having meetings on their computer. I've seen
Yeah.
this, and it's mind blowing.
Yeah, but I also my old career is finance, and I remember for
Mhm.
years they were talking about our robo advisor is going to replace a financial advisor, and I think conceptually it's hard to replace what you do.
Mhm.
Again, for a big purchase like this, I don't know if I would trust not dealing with
Yeah.
a human being. And
I
a human element.
I prefer to deal with like a human on any type of, transaction.
Yeah, me
but
too.
You do have, different companies have become very robotic.
They have.
Like, for me, I like to give a white glove service. I like to deal with my clients, have a personal relationship with them. But,
Sure.
there's different companies now, like new real estate companies, I feel like. They're like, oh, yeah, you're under contract, and then you get a call from somebody who is like in India who like schedules your home inspection and
Right.
appraisal, and it's just like it's not
Not
hands-on.
personal.
I think that's probably going to go away though eventually, because people still want to deal with people,
Agreed.
especially on a big transaction like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Very interesting. It's an interesting time in
Mhm.
real estate.
But I
Yeah.
still think like there will be technology for like, doing things electronic, but like as far as dealing with a person to help get the transaction complete, I think, that will still be there.
Are you seeing situations where somebody might use you as a realtor, but they don't actually physically see the house? Maybe they just see the house on a virtual tour and they
felt
say,
like
April,
that
I want to buy
was-
it.
Yeah, I felt like that was during COVID. You were doing like virtual tours. When I was listing homes, I had to make sure I had like a 3D tour,
Sure.
a walkthrough tour.
Shout out to Mike from Lux
Um,
Q.
Yes, absolutely. We
Oh,
love
yeah.
Mike. But now people are going back into homes because I've sold some homes via FaceTime or video during COVID. And, I think people still really want to be in the home before they buy them.
So bizarre to
Yeah.
buy a
Yeah.
house without seeing it.
yeah,
but,
I mean, I personally would never, but
yeah, I couldn't imagine in a million years purchasing a house before I stepped
No.
foot in. I mean, what if it smells funny?
Yeah, totally.
yeah, you can't get that on a video.
Yeah,
what if-
you-
what if
it's a
your
different
neighbors
feeling.
Are like
Yeah.
just the
Right.
craziest people in the whole world, and you just never knew.
And you
Yes.
can make a picture look a little different than real life.
Totally. You can Photoshop
Yeah.
everything now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Have you seen my Instagram photos? No, I'm just
Wow.
Great. Well, is there anything else that we missed here that you want to let everybody know that's just so important? I think we covered.
No, I think we
some good
covered some good
bases here.
things like,
Yeah.
current market trends and what to expect for the future. So I'm good.
Right.
And if you haven't, make sure you check out our latest issue of View, our bridal issue, where April actually gives her tips, home buying tips for newlywed couples.
And if you're
Yes.
looking to sell your home, of course, April is more than qualified. She'll find you not only 1, 2, 3, but 20 buyers.
You'll have a bidding war.
Yes, I will.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
Awesome.
April, thank you so much for joining us.
No
this
problem.
was
Thanks
great.
for having me.
And thanks for tuning in. And remember, it's all about the view.
We'll see you next time.